Hey guys, we're here at hole 14 at Deer Lakes in Turin, PA. I'm Vinny Montanari, PGA number 78695, and this is what's in my bag.
Vinny is gonna try to ace it because he can. And
I don't ever think I've seen anyone drive that far on this hole.
And Vinny doing what Vinny does, crushing drives all day. Wow.
Start off with the putters. For everything inside the circle, I use a Discmania P2 P-line plastic. I like the feel of it. It's pretty deep. Like, this is the main one I use, and then I have a backup in case I lose the other one. And then for everything outside the circle, I use Gateway Wizards in special blend plastic. Jump putts, spin putts, or if I want to turn over a short putt, these are great. Then my main throwing putter would be the Innova Rhino. I have one Champion, real gummy, that's been pretty beat up. I can throw for sidearms that just go dead straight, or backhands, real soft hyzers or hyzer flips. And then I have one that I just put in the bag, which is a Glow Champion Rhino, just as gummy but very stable. Mostly just hyzers or headwind up shots. I also carry as a throwing putter a Discraft Roach in Pro D plastic, and this is crazy understable. I can throw it 200 feet with a ton of hyzer and it's going to flip up and just ride over. I've even thrown short rollers with it or flip up sidearm shots. Next I go to my mid-ranges, and my go-to straight mid-range would be the Rock, Innova Rock. I carry one KC Pro flat top, max weight. It's really beat up. Hyzer flips. Pretty much all I throw it for, hyzer flips and turnovers. And then my go-to straight mid-range is a Innova Rock 3. This one's a little bit lighter. It's about 174, and it's been beat up a decent amount, so I can throw it flat and it'll just glide over. I'm left-handed, by the way. I'll throw it flat and it'll glide over to the left, or I can throw hyzer flips or just glidey hyzers. Then I have one more Rock 3, and this one's max weight, domey, and it's pretty stable for a rock. So don't throw this one too much, it's mainly a backup. And next to my bag is probably my favorite disc. It's the Discraft Drone. I have two of them in Elite Z plastic. This one I've had for about 2.5 years. Really beat up. It almost is like a straight drone. Like, if I throw it flat, it'll actually kind of turn a little bit and then still dump at the end, but I can actually throw turnover shots with it if I force it over hard enough. Big hyzers. I can make this do just about anything. So, great disc. And then next I have pretty new, about 2 months old drone, just overstable in case I need something in the wind more. And then next to my bag, just put in my bag not too long ago, it's a Justice, and it's definitely more overstable than a drone, so if I really need to something shorter and more overstable, I'll throw this, but mainly what I throw it for is actually thumbers. I've never thought of throwing a mid-range for thumbers, but this one works great. It'll pan real slow and just kind of fly upside down and land flat, so great for like 250, 300 foot thumbers. Now I'll move on to my fairway drivers, and first I have Innova Leopard 3s. These are, I don't throw them too often, mainly for like 350 to 400 foot like little turnover shots. And this star is 162 grams, and it's really understable. I can throw it for rollers or just hyzer flips that glide to the left. And then this is the main one I throw. I can throw it flat. It'll just slide over. Never really turns over and cut rolls on me. So I'll also use it for kind of straight rollers if I have a lot of room to get it down, because this one's a little bit more stable. And then next, the disc I just started throwing recently that I love, it's the Innova Thunderbird. These are great for just laser beam straight shots. This one's pretty beat up. I've had it for a while, and I can throw it with a little bit of hyzer and it'll flip up, just glide to the side and just land flat. It's perfect for that. Also, glidey hyzers, they'll flip up a little bit, but mainly holes around here are pretty tight and wooded, so this is probably my go-to driver for the woods. Next I have one that's it's a newer one. It's a little bit more stable than the last one. I can throw it flat and it'll just go straight, fade at the end. And then I have this one, which is a Metal Flake Thunderbird, which is pretty stable for a Thunderbird. Almost, not quite like a beat up Firebird, but good in the wind. Next, probably one of my favorite discs is the Latitude XXX. I have 3 of them. This one is a board flat opto. That's about, I think it's 168. I mainly throw it for sidearms because it's not really that stable for a XXX. I can throw it flat and it'll turn a little bit and then dump at the end. Or I can throw backhands with it flat and it'll turn a little bit and then dump hard, same thing. Also, this is my go-to forehand roller disc. Next, the American Flag. This is my go-to backhand XXX for short hyzer shots, spike hyzers, flex shots in the woods. It's a great disc. Love it. And then this one is just a backup. It flies exactly like the American Flag one, but I throw it so much that I need something in case I lose it. And then next, I'll move on to definitely my favorite driver that I've ever thrown. It's the West Side Giant. I carry 5 of them. This one is a super beat up VIP that I only throw for just huge turnover shots. I don't really like to throw hyzer flips with drivers. It's just not something I'm comfortable with, I guess. I just like to throw it flat and it'll just way to the left. This one's a great one. I don't throw it too often though. Next, this one's definitely my favorite, the Gray Giant. This one just flies like how every driver should. You throw it flat, turns a little bit, comes back hard. It's definitely probably the furthest flying disc I've ever thrown. Longest throw I've ever had measured with any disc was this one, and it was 555 on the flat ground with no wind help. So, great disc. And then this one is my Sparkle VIP. This one I only throw for big hyzers. I throw it flat, like a lot of hyzer, and it'll flip up almost to flat and then just glide the whole way. So it's not too good in the wind, but if there's no wind and I need a big hyzer, this is the one I go to. Next is this other Gray Giant. It says VIP, but it's like a blend between VIP and tournament. But this one's nice and stable. This is like, flies like a brand new Giant. You throw it flat, it's going to go flat and then fade hard at the end. Good in the wind, throw a little hyzer on it, it'll flip up and go. So, I like that one. And then there's this Giant, a board flat tournament Giant. It's only 169, but it is the most stable Giant I've ever thrown. It's much more stable than any Enforcer I've ever thrown actually, so great in the wind. Spike hyzers, longer spike hyzers. I'll even throw it occasionally for overstable sidearms, but not too often. Now some discs that I don't throw quite as often. I have one Enforcer in the bag that I throw mainly for wood shots that I want to go, like I'll rip it flat, it'll go straight for about 400 feet, and then dump at the end. Also, in the wind, it probably handles the wind a little bit better than Giants. So I'll also throw it in the wind a little bit. Next in my bag is this super old beat up Champion Orc. I used to throw this thing a lot for backhands, and it's really beat up now. I'll throw it for rollers, occasional like flip up sidearm shots if I really need it, but I don't really throw it that often. It's more of like a lucky charm in the bag. And then I have a Star Wraith. This one's 172, pretty flat. I'll throw it for longer sidearm shots and It's pretty understable for a Wraith, so I also throw rollers, like max distance rollers with this, and big turnovers. And then last is a disc that I just recently started throwing, is the Prodigy X1. This is definitely the most overstable disc I've ever thrown. I can barely throw it backhand. It's if there's a massive headwind, and I can just rip over on it, like on a roller line, and it'll just fight back, and can't really throw this thing over 400, but it's great. I've tried throwing thumbers with it, and it works pretty good for thumbers. I don't have the best thumber, but for anybody looking for a good thumber disc, this is what you want. I've got 2 of them. This one's just a backup, but they both fly about the same. As you see, I carry a lot of discs, so that has more than enough storage for all of them. And another thing, I carry all those discs, but there's really only a handful of them that I really throw a lot. I throw the drones, the Thunderbirds, and the Giants, triple X's too. But I really try to make those discs fly on the line that I want and work the disc more than throw different discs for every shot. So the other ones are backups in case I really need to throw something different. Thanks for watching, guys. That's in my bag.
Here we go, Vinny. Up.
5 bars in bowling.
Oh!
Yeah!